Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict podcast. I am Matt Verderame, and I am in a hotel down in Mobile, Alabama. So if you're wondering, like, where the hell is he, and why is there soft lighting in the background? Well, that's why. If you're listening, you don't care. That's fine too. We have a lot to get to here in a short amount of time. Be here for the next 30 to 45 minutes. I am not going to filibuster at the beginning of this. If you listened to the podcast on the Arrowhead Addict channel last night, you already know all of our thoughts coming out of the Chiefs' scintillating 23-20 win over the Cincinnati Bengals, sending them to Super Bowl 57, where they will meet the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't wait for the game. I think the game's going to be awesome. Let's roll. Let's get right into the questions, as I'm sure there's going to be plenty of them. So let's start here right at the top. Rhino says, does this game put Chris Jones on a Hall of Fame trajectory? I mean, I think he's already been on a Hall of Fame trajectory, but I think that's the kind of game that you put on the capstone. That's the kind of game that you say, okay, he's a Hall of Famer, and this is my example as to why. So yes, I think that absolutely is going to be a game that people look back on. He was that great. It was the best game I think he ever played. Jerome says, hey, Matt, I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Mailbag, thanks, man. For Chris Lamons and the Bengals claiming him off the waiver wire, did he need to sign something with them to not be available for the Chiefs? Yeah, well, he had to. So if he goes on waivers, he gets claimed. The Bengals put in a claim. They're able to get him, and then they control him. He wasn't eligible to play in the AFC title game. Now they can put it back on waivers. They can do whatever they like. But yeah, once he was claimed, that was it. He wasn't going to play in that AFC title game. All right. Lovely. Hey, Matt, glad to see you. Glad to see you too. Appreciate it. Jess asks, if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, does Travis Kelce and Andy Reid retire? No, I don't think so. I mean, Travis Kelce's talked about the fact he wants to get to 15,000 yards. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I don't think Andy's going anywhere either. I really don't. I think those two guys, football is their life. I'd be shocked. I would be shocked. All right, let's see. Adrian, Matt, is it concerning that Schefter's crew is doing the Super Bowl? I mean, his crew is not in our back pockets, joking for the haters. It's concerning in the sense he calls more penalties than anybody else in the league, and so it's going to be a flag fest. I'd be shocked if it's not. He's going to throw, between the two teams, 20 flags, and we're all going to want to throw ourselves out a window watching him do it. Alex, at what point will the Bengals fans stop crying about the refs? Don't know, don't care. Couldn't care any less. The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl. It's not worth our time. Ed, who is the edge? Eagles O-line or Chiefs D-line? I think, I'll tell you, if you guys read Stacking the Box, and I hope you did, I encourage you to do so. I think that's the match for the game with the two lines against each other. I mean, they're so good up front, both teams. I guess I would say, God, man, I don't know. Here, you know what I would say is, I think that the Eagles probably have the advantage at tackle against the edge rushers. The Chiefs have the advantage with Jones against the guards. I think it's a pretty even matchup, though, man. I really do. I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup up front. All right, let's see. Future, do you think Mahomes still has his prime in front of him, or is he in his prime? I think he's in the beginning of his prime. But, man, I think his prime might go for the next 8 years. Like, he's 27. You see quarterbacks playing deeper into their careers than ever before. I think he's going to play a long time. I do. I think he's going to be around. He just seems like the kind of guy, like, I don't see him pulling an Andrew Luck. I mean, and I'm not denigrating Luck, but I don't see him walking away to pursue other opportunities. He's such a football player. I'd be shocked. People ask me about updates on injuries. I got to tell you guys, I've been on a flight from Mobile all day long. I couldn't even tell you, man. Like, I honestly, I've had my phone off most of the day. I'm trying to look. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. So that's always a good sign. Let's see. Kevin Powers. Didn't you pick against us? Yeah, I did. I picked the Bengals to win 27-23. Had the Chiefs right. Thankfully, I didn't have the Bengals right. Yeah, I did. This is a weird thing about, like, if you don't pick the Chiefs every time, you're not a fan or something. Guys, I'm paid to analyze the league. Like, I'm not paid to sit in row 42. I'm paid to give an honest opinion. I'm very glad I was wrong. Unknown. You said before the Chiefs would beat the Eagles. If the Chiefs are healthy, do you still believe that? Yeah, I do. I do. I think it's. I will say though, I think they're the two best teams in football. I think it's going to be a great game. But yes, I do. Let's see, Matt. Early thoughts on the Super Bowl? Or I'm sorry, Nathan says, Matt, what is PFF smoking? Way too much. I saw those grades. It's why I don't talk about PFF one way or the other. It's not that I think they do bad work. I just think they do consistent work. All right. Early thoughts on the Super Bowl. I think they're the two best teams in the league. I think the game's going to be decided up front. The Eagles have 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen and 2 All-Pros, and so do the Chiefs. The Eagles finished first in sacks on defense. The Chiefs finished second. They're both just so good up front. I think that's going to determine the game. I think for the Eagles, they need to win up front. I think the Chiefs can play it to a draw and win the game. And I think that's because of the quarterbacks. Hurts is excellent, but he's not Mahomes. I think the Eagles have to win this game up front. If the Chiefs play it to a draw up front and it becomes about everything else, I think the Chiefs win the game. All right, let's see. Why do we waste a roster spot in a fullback when Bell can fill that role? That's fair. It's a fair question. They never played Burton. That's fair. John asks, what are your odds in the Super Bowl? I don't know if you're asking me like what I would set the odds at. I'm not an odds maker, man. -1 either way, pick. I think it's that close. Jessica, will you pick against the Chiefs in the next one? No, I won't. Kevin asks again, didn't you pick against us? Yes, I did. Brock, if you could own 2 Chiefs jerseys, one from a Chiefs player all time, one from the current roster, who are you taking? Mahomes and Derek Thomas. KL, after last night, do you think these rookies DBs could hold up against the Eagles if Snead can't go? Yeah. Based on what we saw last night, yeah. Jason, hey, Verd, do you think the Burrow-Mahomes rivalry finally has a chance to become something? Maybe it has. Maybe it already has, but first it was Watson, then Lamar, right, so on and so forth. Listen, man, I'll tell you right now, I think the Chiefs-Bengals thing, that's a real thing. Like, the Chiefs and the Bills, they respect each other. They play hard against each other. They know they're good teams. The Chiefs and the Bengals hate each other, man. Like, those two teams absolutely, unequivocally cannot stand each other. That rivalry is going to be a lot of fun for a long time. A long time. Herfavo Cup, hilarious name. You think Wiley can hold up against Hassan Reddick? No, I don't. But I think the Chiefs can help. And I think if Reddick's always coming from that side, at least Mahomes can see him. But I think the Chiefs can help there. They can chip. They can do different things. One thing about Andy Reid, if you look at his history, the Bucs game notwithstanding, because he had 5 backup guys, I mean, they were all over the place. They had no chance. He's very good at scheming up teams that have a lot of pressure. He's very good at it. Like, he's extremely good at using their aggressiveness against them. I'm very fascinated to see how it plays out. Was I surprised that the Chiefs didn't activate Blake Bell? Yes, I was. I thought they'd run the ball quite a bit. I'm sorry, guys. I skipped over a few questions. The chat skipped on me. Stacy, my guy. Hope you're well, man. Which of the injured players yesterday do you expect most to be available in the Super Bowl? I think most of them, man. I mean, I think look, Tony. I mean, unless he did like ligament damage to his ankle, I think he'll play. I mean, Snead is 2 weeks with a concussion to get back. I think he'll probably play. Juju, like he was after the game on the Chiefs' social media, it's just Snapchat, I think it was. Saying how excited he was to get to the Super Bowl. Like, I think most of these guys are going to play, man. I think they're going to play. It's a Super Bowl. I mean, Lane Johnson's going out there with a 2-time torn groin, which hurts just to say it. I think those guys are going to be out there. I'd be shocked if they're not. I would be. Rasta, what do you think about our D line with the Eagles? I said it earlier. I think that's a great matchup. I think it's pretty even. I think the Chiefs are better on the interior. I mean, Kelsey's great, but I think the Chiefs will move Jones around to keep him off Kelsey. Look, it's going to be interesting, man. That is the matchup of the game. Biggest weak spot in the Eagles' defense that KC can expose their linebackers. The Chiefs can expose the linebacker. They can go after them. I believe that. I think they can do some things there. All right, let's see. Let me see. Lucrative saying that was honestly the most satisfying win right after the Super Bowl. Yeah, man. Your feelings are probably shared by many. Mighty, how do you approach rushing the passer against the Eagles? The D-line 8, but ultimately it was against some backups. This will be against the best O-line in football and a mobile QB. Steve Spagnuolo, man, I think they're going to go right after him. I think they're going to go right after him. I think they're going to try to bring pressures. They're going to try to confuse him. Kelsey's not going to be easy to confuse. He's a damn good center. He's a veteran. But I think if you're the Chiefs, man, you come with it. Like you pressure, and you're willing to play some man, and you keep the safeties over the top, and you don't give up the big play. Top 2 teams in the league in offensive explosive plays this year. Chiefs with 83, the Eagles with 80. How good did this Monday feel? Great, right? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Austin, hey, Matt, do you see any similarities between the Super Bowl match from 3 years ago with the Niners, run-heavy offense, elite D-line, stacked roster? Yeah, I do. I think it's a very similar game. Hurts is better than Garoppolo. And the Niners had a run game that scared me more because of the way they schemed it. But, yeah, I think it's similar. Now, look, the one thing that is different is the Niners had weaker corners than Philly. I know they had Sherman, but they didn't have another guy. You know, Philly's got Bradbury and Slay and Maddox, but they play zone. They play a lot of zone. That is the one thing in this game. Philly better get home, because if they don't get home, they sit in that zone against Mahomes. He's going to kill them. They have to get home. Have to. All right. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody here. All right, I think we're good. I'm just trying to roll. Let's keep going. Shannon, hey, Matt. Is it possible for Mahomes to be 100% in 13 days, or will mental and adrenaline do it? I think he'll be closer to 100. I don't think he's going to be 100, but I could see him at 90 at that point. You know, a couple of weeks, they'll do everything they can. 3 weeks removed from the original injury. I think it's reasonable to think he'll be pretty close. I don't think he'll be 100%, but I think he'll be to a point where it's not egregious. He's not hobbling around. That would be my guess. Let's see. Kevin, you betting on the Eagles too? First of all, I don't bet on the games. I don't think I'm allowed to, being a credentialed media member. But I already told you my pick in this game twice. Hopefully you're listening. Florida, do you know anything about the injury report? Nope, we're way too far out. Way too far out. Mo says, Matt, we're going to need you to pick the Eagles. I hear you on that. Jeremy, did Brett Veach have the best draft ever? Wow, these guys continue to impress. Best draft ever? No, he's done one hell of a job. If you don't respect that guy and the work he's done, I don't tell you. I mean, this is supposed to be a reload year for this team, and they're 14-3 in the Super Bowl. It's been nothing short of miraculous. What he's done, what they continue to do as a team. He's a brilliant general manager. He really is. He's brilliant. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Lovely. I appreciate the support. Foss, in your opinion, what defines the Chiefs' culture compared with the Bills versus Bengals game? It seems like the Chiefs were willing to play with the last man standing. I think there's a mentality with the Chiefs. In fact, I know there's a mentality with the Chiefs that they always feel as though they take their cues from Mahomes, from Kelsey, from Chris Jones, from Frank Clark. And when you see guys like Kelsey and Mahomes battling through injuries the way they were yesterday, obviously Mahomes in particular, I think it spurred on that whole team. Between that and everything that went on in the week, those guys, there was a mentality of, to hell with that. I'm not going down. I'm not going down. And I think they stepped up in a way that, I don't often say this about pro sports teams because I think sometimes it's made more for a movie, this kind of a comment. What they did last night was nothing short of storybook, of legendary. I mean, they were down like half their team at one point, and they just kept going. They wouldn't quit. They were in the sports term, courageous. All right, let me keep going here. It's a good question, by the way. Did that lock up MVP for Mahomes? They voted on that already, man. So that's just on regular season, but he's going to win the MVP. Jacoby, do you think Eric, our offensive coach, Bieniemy, do you think he leaves after this year? I think this might be his last year. I wouldn't put it in stone, but I think it was almost his last year last season. So I think at this point, it's very much year to year. All right, let's see. Kyle, no Eagles. I know the Eagles have wide receivers and an offensive line. How are they on defense? What are their defensive strengths and weaknesses? They led the league with 70 sacks. They're a great team up front. They have 4 guys with double-digit sacks. In the secondary, Darius Slay is arguably the best corner in the NFL. James Bradbury is excellent as well. They have C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a safety who can also drop down, play some corner sometimes. They're very talented. The one thing about them, they play a lot of zone. They don't get in a man. They're very static in what they do, and that is an opportunity. If the Chiefs can block, they can take advantage of it. They can go after it. The Eagles have not played a lot of good teams. They have not played many good quarterbacks. And in this season, when they have played good offenses, they've given up a lot of points, 35 to Detroit, 40 to Dallas. That is the thing that's going to be fascinating when they play the Chiefs. They have not played anybody like the Chiefs this year. Nobody. I would argue the best team that they've played all season, probably, well, in the AFC, the best AFC team they saw was Jacksonville. That's inarguable. In the NFC, I mean, I guess Dallas, and they lost, but they didn't hurt, so it's kind of hard to evaluate that game. They didn't play anybody else. And they played the NFC North. All those teams stunk. They played the Saints and the Cardinals. I don't know what to do with that. So it is what it is. It's going to be very interesting. All right. Let me see. Sometimes the chat just moves so fast. It's hard to keep up with everything. Ollie, I missed your super chat. Oh, Ollie. Hey, there it is. Got you, man. Got you. Thank you for pointing that out. Appreciate your super chat. Hey, Matt, watching from the UK. Hope you're well, man. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for watching. Sorry I missed it. The chat in these Monday mailbags just goes like crazy. So I always feel bad, especially if I miss somebody who is paying. So I apologize. Thank you very much, dude. It's very nice of you. All right, let's see. Think through cigar recommendations to smoke on that Bengals pack. I like a Monte Cristo. I like a light wrappered Monte Cristo. Ed, do you believe Spags can slow down the Eagles' run game? I think Spags is going to walk up a bunch of guys to the line of scrimmage and just go after them and play a ton of man and make Hurts throw in the tight windows. If I know one thing about C. Spagnuolo, they're not sitting back in this football game. They are going to come after the other team. And one thing about him, too, he's got 2 weeks. I think Spags will have a good game plan. I do. SA Flip, we've made it to the Super Bowl multiple times with the coaching staff we have. Should the Chiefs listen to their so-called diehard fans to fire Spags during the offseason? No. Spags can be frustrating at times, but he's a great coordinator. I mean, the guy's been a coordinator now for 4 Super Bowl defenses. There's a reason. And he's got 2 rings. Like, he's a pretty damn good coordinator. All right. Hey, Matt, question from Scotland. Hey, Scotland, awesome. Going international. Which team had the best draft? Us or Philly? The Chiefs. The Chiefs draft is ridiculous. The Chiefs had 6 guys yesterday on defense who were rookies playing, 5 of which were out there almost every play, and then they had Moore and they had Pacheco. What the Chiefs did yesterday with their rookies was just insane. I mean, if you told anybody that at the beginning of the year, you're like, oh my God, they would lost by 40 points. Nope. And they were a huge part of why they won. It wasn't even like they played, but they avoided like kind of making an impression on the game. They were great. All right. Yeah. The Cincy mayor taking flack. I bet he is. He should be dope. Josh was asking if there's for Snead or is there a hesitation? No, I think you pay that guy, man. That guy's a great player. John F., do you think the Bengals would have beat the Eagles had they played? No, I think the Eagles would have sacked the Bengals about 15 times. I honestly do. The Eagles, I think, would have killed Cincinnati. Not the matchup that they want at all. Jay says, I know the Eagles are talented on defense, but they run zone on defense and rarely get out of it. If the line holds up, I think Patrick Mahomes can put up insane numbers and absolutely torch. I agree with you. If the Chiefs block, they're going to win the game. Because the Eagles sit in zone, they're dead on arrival. Mahomes will go nuts. The biggest advantage the Chiefs have in this game is how unpredictable they are defensively and how predictable Philadelphia is. Remember that. Hey, Matt, do you think let me see. I'm sorry. Scroll away on me. Sorry. Okay. Clifton, who will be talking about who will we be talking about the most besides Mahomes on the Monday after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl? They win the Super Bowl. Who are they talking about the most? Now, I'll tell you right now, I'm just going to go obvious. Chris Jones. I could just see him having no one. He's going to line him up over some guards, just destroys the guy for like 2.5 sacks. He's just on one of those heaters right now. It doesn't matter who's in front of him. The guy's just unbelievable. You could argue seriously right now in the playoffs, he's been the best player in the playoffs, like of anybody on any team. I don't even think it's. In fact, I don't even know if there's an argument that he's not. That's how great he's been. He's a defensive tackle. All right. Quentin, what's up, bro? I know you don't watch a lot of the mainstream media outlets. I noticed they gave the Bengals a lot more respect than the loss they would have ever given us. Any thoughts? Nope. Don't care. Don't care. Give them all the respect they want, and they can keep giving it to them while they're sitting on the couch watching TV. Ronald, hey, Matt, how do you think Chiefs can manage Eagles' RPO and offensive tackle overall? I think they bring guys to the line of scrimmage. And they force Hurts to throw the ball in this game. And it's not because I don't think Hurts is good. Hurts can throw, and they can get explosive plays. But if I'm the Chiefs, I'm taking that run game away. And I'm forcing the Eagles to throw the ball. And I'm saying, you know what? If you can beat me, fine. But I think the Chiefs' corners can hold up, man. I really do. Like, I'm not saying they won't get beat sometimes. I mean, the Eagles are really good, but that's how I would play. Let's see what we got here. All right. I'm going to go a little quicker because I am like way behind these questions. I still dreaming. Hey, Matt, why every time a team loses, it becomes a conspiracy? Because fans have to blame somebody because they can't handle the fact that the team lost. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It always has been and always will be. TN, why was our run game so ineffective? Concerned about it versus Philly. The Bengals were playing downhill all night. They brought a lot of pressure. They were coming downhill. I think that was part of it. But I'm not too concerned about it against Philly because I got to be honest, because the Chiefs are going to win and lose that game throwing the football. I just think that's one of these games with Mahomes. Like that's the game. That's the game. And I think the Chiefs are going to run a lot of that jet sweep stuff against Philly. Tosses. They're going to try to get wide on Philadelphia. They're not going to. You don't want to play in a phone booth against Philly. It's not the way you want to play. Stacy, let's see. Do you think Joe Cullen will get defensive coordinator looks this offseason with the job he's done in KC? I think he should, but I don't know if he will, man. A lot of these jobs are already filling up, but he's done a great job. He's certainly deserving of it the way they've done. It's a good question. Orlando, the share passing attack having a good day against the Eagles. If they block, they'll have a huge day. All right, let's see. Ulfric, Matt, I just want to thank you for all the superb coverage you have provided. I'm a Chiefs fan from the UK, and you have added to how amazing the season has been. I am so glad the Bengals got humbled. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Chief says, wait, who do you pick to win? The Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs. Who's the X-factor for the Super Bowl? Orlando Brown. Jeremy, thoughts? Spags and Cullen and Merritt deserve huge props. They've taken a young defense and even vets and made them step up their game. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Believe me, I will be writing about it when I'm down in Arizona. Couldn't agree more. Matt, how's your hotel room view? It's all right. Mobile looks good. I'm looking forward to grabbing a burger with some colleagues in about an hour and maybe a few beers, maybe a few more beers. It's been a long day. Got delayed for an hour and a half. And if you know me, I hate being delayed at an airport more than anything in the world. Did MVS showing up like he did surprise you? A little bit. I mean, he had a huge game. I'm not surprised he played well. I'm surprised he had over 100 yards and touchdown. MVS was awesome. They are not in the Super Bowl without him. They're not. All right. Let's see. Mighty says last two drafts were just God tier. Yeah, pretty much, man. Just unbelievable. Lovely. Any special coverage or videos in the works the next 2 weeks for AA? Best Chiefs coverage on I will tell you guys this. Stay tuned. We are going to be, Patrick and I are going to be down at the Super Bowl. I will be at the game. I'll be covering the game in person again. Very blessed and thankful for that. Oh yeah, we're going to have more shows than you guys know what to do with. We're going to be at Radio Row. We're going to be down interviewing the players and the coaches, obviously at their press conferences. You keep it right here. We are going to have a ton of Chiefs coverage and Super Bowl coverage, no doubt. Jerome, hey, Matt, how much will Chiefs focus on Philly run offense? I think a ton of it. I mean, Hurts hasn't even had to throw for 300 yards combined in these two playoff games. Not to say he can't, but if I'm the Chiefs, I'm making them beat me throwing the football. I don't care. I trust the secondary. I trust these corners. I don't care if they're kids. I would challenge them. I would absolutely challenge him to throw the ball. All right, let's see. How mad were you to see Sky Moore turning punch? It's funny. Like I was apoplectic because I was in such fear the whole time. But what were you going to do? They didn't have Hardman or Tony. Like they literally they didn't have Watson. They had nobody. I mean, Moore had to do it. And you know what? Give that kid a lot of credit. He stepped up and he did it. He did it. Give him all the credit in the world. What is the key to winning the game, in your opinion? Blocking up front. Don't forget that Tampa Super Bowl, man. Block up front. And you, Punk, why is everyone overlooking the fact Burrow could not play 3 rookies at corner, or the fact the Bengals couldn't stop Mahomes and half his receivers, blaming the refs like idiots? Look, I mean, I feel all that's true. If that was the other way around and Mahomes could beat 3 rookie corners, can you imagine that? Can you imagine it takes that next morning? God. I'm with you on all that. Jess, what are your thoughts on the Chargers picking up Kellen Moore? I think it'll make him throw down the field a little bit. I like the hire for the Chargers. I don't think it's a home run, but I don't mind it. All right, let's see. Let's keep rolling here. Let's keep rolling. Okay. If Spags calls a bad game and we lose, do you think he'll be fired? No. If they fire him after that, they're out of their minds. No, man. I think there's a better chance that I become the head coach of the team than him getting fired after all this. All righty. Should the Chiefs resign Thornhill? At their price. Will there be an AA Super Bowl parade meetup if we win? I have not heard anything about that, but that would be a lot of fun. Thoughts on Sheffers calling the Super Bowl? It's going to be a flag fest. Man, I've really not ever been a Frank Clark fan, but man, he shows up in the playoffs. Your thoughts? Yeah. Frank Clark is a guy during the regular season. Like, he's a good player, but then in the playoffs, he becomes Lawrence Taylor. It's a good thing to have right now. All right, let's see here. Did MVS earn his way on the team next year? Oh, yeah. He'll be on. He was going to be on this team anyway. Okay, let's see what we got here. Have you looked forward to the wide receiver class in this draft? I've not. I'm in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. I mean, I'm going to start kind of looking at the draft now a little bit. I just don't until this time of year. I don't have the time, guys, to be honest with you. There's no way. There's no way. I would be in a rubber room. But I will dig into it. And I'm down here, and believe me, I'll be talking to people in the league tonight. Late in the night, probably into tomorrow morning. Let's see. What do you think Snead's annual average value would be? 13 million. Ward got 11. 13 million. Sounds right. Braden, hey, how you doing? Pacheco runs like he has a hit on his head. That's hilarious. Yeah, pretty much. Mahomes a top 10 quarterback ever if he wins. Yep, sure is. Rich is asking, Matt, you said you vote Howie as executive of the year. I did for my PFWA awards. I do vote for that. I did vote for Howie Roseman. How close was Veach? Second. I thought Roseman had the biggest challenge ahead of him because of all the moves he had to make, and he doesn't have Mahomes at his disposal. But I mean, Veach was second. Veach was second. What Veach has done this year is just unbelievable. Kyle, NFL history question: why do you think most Super Bowls between two Hall of Fame quarterbacks are typically blowouts who don't live up to the bill? Montana and Elway, Montana, Marino, Manning, Breeze. I don't know, man. I don't know. Probably because in some of those cases, one team was just significantly better than the other one. I wish I had it's a good question. I just don't have a really good answer for you. Do we bring back Clark? Man, I can't believe we're having the conversation. I mean, not at his number next year, which is almost $30 million, but if they can get him to 2 years and maybe split the cap, they won't bring him back on his current number. They will not do that. But my God, man. I mean, if they can get him back on a little bit of a lower number, It's hard to argue it. Vlad says Hurts isn't good. I disagree with that, man. Hurts is a pretty good quarterback. He's not Mahomes, but he's good. He's a good player. Let's see. Olford is asking my thoughts on Colin Cowherd, saying Mahomes is the best quarterback he's ever seen. I can't say he's the best quarterback of all time. I think he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. But he's got to keep winning. He's got to keep winning. People always like to make it out like it doesn't matter if you win, and it's just like it matters. It matters. But he's on pace to be the greatest player ever. It's insane. Let me see. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody. Adam says you're a fan, but a fair weather fan. Yeah, okay, bud. All right. I think we're doing well. Sean's asking about the NFL calling grounding. I don't think they're going to change the way they call it. Nathan, has anyone mentioned the field in Arizona yet? Worries about our guys holding up? Listen, the field is going to be fine for this game. Believe me. The NFL is going to have about half of its field people down there going over that field. They'll make sure that field is good for the Super Bowl. All right, let's see. New Punk, why is nobody flaming Burrow for struggling against 6 rookies on defense? Because the expectations aren't as high for him as they are for Mahomes. Because Mahomes is the guy. And that's reality. People may not want to say that. That's reality. Did I see a tweet by Micah Parsons about Chris Jones? Yes. Is playoff MVS a real thing? I don't know, but it was last night. Are you worried about the injured players? I mean, like anybody, you have some concern, but I think they will play. I think they will play in the game. Let's see here. Matt, are you more confident about this Super Bowl against the 49ers or this one? That's a good question. Probably pretty close, man. I thought the Chiefs would win that one close too. Probably about the same. Maybe a touch more confident with maybe a touch more confident with this team because their experience in their offensive line. Matt, how was the flight to Alabama? Delayed for an hour and a half. But once we got in the air, smooth sailing, had a Sprite, had one of those like Stroop waffles. We're in good shape. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, should be caught up to that point. Hurts didn't play well against SF. I mean, that game was so weird. Like, they didn't have to do anything because the Niners were trying to me out a quarterback. But he hasn't been asked to do anything in these playoff games. Like, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm making him do something. Let's put it that way. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm making the Eagles beat me throwing the football. Okay? And maybe they do it. Fine. Do it. Prove to me you can do it. All right. Can we just take a penalty on 3rd and 1? 3rd and 6 seems easier. I like that. Yeah, man. 3rd and 1 for the Chiefs. My God, it's just their own personal version of hell. Which wide receiver is more meaningful to have back, Hardman or Tony? Tony. Jacoby, bro, I wish I was on vacation. I'm working. Thank you. I'll be down here providing a lot of commentary on the Senior Bowl. Believe that. Carlos, hey, Matt, what were you feeling in the game when the running game wasn't working? I wasn't feeling good about it. What made me feel hopeful was the Chiefs' defense was just spectacular. But I was I always watch the games. I'm on the phone with the old man. I think he would tell you I was not pleasant to be on the phone with in the second half of that game. I was very annoyed at the Chiefs the way they were playing offensively. Not because they weren't even scoring points, just the way they were calling the game. And when Reid punted from the 38-yard line, I damn near climbed on the roof. Okay. I know a lot of people are asking, I'm just going to kind of cover this broadly. Are you worried about the injured players? Look, guys, I'm worried about them in the sense, yeah, sure, you want them back, but it's a Super Bowl, man. if a bone's not sticking out, I'd be shocked if they don't play in this game. I mean, Snead's a concussion, that's different, but he's got 2 weeks. I think they will be back. I think they'll be back. I do. What do I think of all the rig talk today? The same as always. It's dumb as shit. It's dumb as shit yesterday, today, tomorrow. It's dumb when Chiefs fans yell about being rigged. By the way, this is a point I always like to make, and hopefully you guys can take it in good jest. You know how many Chiefs fans I have telling me the game's rigged when the Chiefs lose to the Bengals or the Bills? You know how many emails I get about it? How many people shoot my mentions up on Twitter? Hey, this game's rigged. No Chief fans say think it's rigged. Like, it's dumb. The NFL does not give a shit if your team wins or loses. They don't care. Why are we so bad at 3rd and 1? They're not built to play that way. I think that's part of it. I mean, some of it I think is just weird happenstance, but I think they're not a short yardage team. Stacy, how much does another ring change Andy Reid's legacy? It adds to it substantially, man. I mean, there's not a lot of coaches out there with multiple Super Bowl rings. You get to that level, you go into a whole nother tier of guy. Instead of 1-3 in the Super Bowl, you're 2-2. That's a big difference. What do you think the Chiefs draft in the first round? Oh God, man, I couldn't tell you. Tackle, but I have to see what the board looks like. I don't know yet. I don't know, but tackle will be on the board. I think for them something they'll focus on. Braden, how likely do you think Colin Saunders is re-signed? They'll have dialogue there. He's not going to cost him a fortune. He's a good player. If the enemy leaves, who do you think would take his job? Nagy. Clint's asking if producer Richard's also at Arizona. He is. Am I staying close to the hotel? I'm staying down near the convention center. I'm staying about 20 minutes away from the convention center. For the beginning of the week. And then as the week moves on, I'm going to go to the media hotel, and I'll just be down near the airport, and they'll just shuttle us back and forth. Okay, let's see. Do you think we'll see more McKinnon snaps in the Super Bowl, given his value as a pass protector? Yes. You'll see a lot of Jerick McKinnon. Well, I think Pacheco's had significant stretches in the last 2 games without any snaps. I don't know, Wayne. It drives me nuts. I don't know. I think sometimes Reid forgets he's on the sideline. I don't know, but I'm with you, man. It drives me crazy. All right. Jason, Bert, I watched the KC Beer Company video, behind the scenes video. You're a beast. I had no clue you were that tall. I'm about 6'2", 240. I'm not a small man. So some of that is the gym and some of that is pizza. More pizza than gym. That's a problem. Thank God the wife doesn't seem to care. All right, let's see. What does the increased salary cap do for the Chiefs? It helps, man. It helps. I mean, a $60 million increase, that pays for Brown's tag. So it helps. I talked to a lot of people in the league who thought it was going to be about $220 million. So 225 is significant. A lot of GMs very happy today. Very happy today. Did I see any questionable calls in the game that favored the Chiefs? Yes. Frank Clark could easily have been called for roughing the passer on Joe Burrow. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, yeah, he frankly should have been. But I honestly, I swear to God, if the result was the other way, I'd say the same thing. I do not believe that the officials decided the game. I feel horrible for Joseph Osai as a person. It's a penalty, man. He hit him 2 steps out of bounds. It's a penalty. The right team won the game. I truly believe that. And I'll die in the hell with that one. Bump is asking, is Tony naturally injury prone because of the crazy jukes he does? Well, he's been injury prone at this point in his career. I'd say that. I don't know if it's because of the jukes. All right, guys, few more here, and then I got to roll. Can the Chiefs fan stop Hurts' scramble runs? He hasn't scrambled much since he hurt his shoulder. That might be something to watch. See, top 5 quarterback ever if he wins. Nah, it's too far. Top 10. Top 10. Top 5's too far yet. Do I think the most underrated move of the offseason was Joe Cullen? Yeah, I do. Joe Cullen's been unbelievable. Free agents will absolutely flock to the Chiefs if they have the money and they're offering to them because of Mahomes and the way they win. Yes. I think Orlando Brown's getting tagged either way, guys. I know Doug's asking that. I think he's going to get tagged either way. But if he plays great, it helps his case for the long-term deal. I was pleasantly surprised with the defense. You see a performance like that coming. David, I'll tell you what, man. I thought they'd be good. I did not think they'd be that. If they play like that in 2 weeks, they'll win the Super Bowl. That was unbelievable how good they were in that game. Assuming we're decently healthy for the Super Bowl, it's the biggest area of concern for the Chiefs. Just dealing with a pass rush that had 70 sacks. The Chiefs' offensive line is really good. It's got to hold up. If it holds up, they win. Okay, let's see. Masterclass by Veach? You bet. Do you see us doing a lot of exotic blitzes? Yes. I think they're going to try to confuse the hell out of a young quarterback. What was the best win by KC this year? You saw it yesterday. Varian, I think we'll get more praise for his INT. Planted his foot, made a great read and recognition. Jalen Watson, in big moments, has been as good as you could ever ask. Did he get beat once last night? I honestly, I'd have to go back. Maybe he did once. He was phenomenal. Ben Griffin says, doesn't matter. Philly is the Super Bowl champs this year. I didn't realize the game was played. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Dynamite. Sean, did anyone see what the hell happened in Juju? He just aggravated his knee as it went on. He hurt it in practice, and I think it just kept going and going and going. All right, let's see. Stu says, dude, no disrespect to KCSN. This is really good content. Hey, all those guys are really friends of mine. BJ, when I went out to Kansas City, we went out, had beers. BJ's a great friend. I don't know Ken and Matt and Craig as well. I will tell you this, and hopefully this doesn't embarrass him, but when my wife and I lost our son, Craig was one of the first people to reach out to me privately, and so was BJ. They're class human beings. I hope you find time to watch both of our programs. Let's see. My preseason pick looking good. My preseason pick was the Bills and the Packers. The 4 Super Bowls prior to this, I at least got one team right, and in 2 of them I got 2 teams right, including when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Sure, that streak was broken. I'm okay with that. The playoff Clark earn extension with us. It earned the conversation. What position should we draft first this year? It depends on the board. Tackle, maybe a receiver. For any prospects you know about right now you're trying to hone in on, I'll tell you what, Jason, again, honestly, and I'm not saying it's just an excuse, it's just the truth. I'm going to start in earnest tomorrow, man. When I start looking at the rosters and talking to people down here, really, actually, tonight, after I get off this chat. Joshua says Eagles will win. The Chiefs will lose 2 Super Bowls. Joshua, Super Bowls, it's 2 words, my friend. 2 words. Super Bowls, capitalize both of them. John, were you pissed when we tried that weird shuffle pass inside the 10-yard line? I was not thrilled about it. Too much traffic for those types of plays. Was this last Offseason Veach's masterclass? I think the last 2 have been. Mighty says, I am rigged. At least we know. Thank you. That's hilarious. Everything's rigged. Everything is rigged. No reason to even go any further. All right, let's see. Ben says you will pick Philly. Ben, I will not, but don't become a psychic. Matt, you think Tyreek is missing the Chiefs right now? I mean, he's got a lot of money to cure his feelings, but I'm sure he's looking at it and going, yeah, it would have been nice. How could you not? He's human, right? What was your favorite prop bet from this last weekend? Oh God, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. You think Chad Henne will be able to handle the pressure after Hassan and Reddick inevitably takes Mahomes out in the first quarter? That would be the way the season ends, just Henne winning the Super Bowl. Let's see. Do you think the Chiefs are looking at a Kelce replacement, or is Noah that hope? I don't think they're looking at it yet. I heard the Chiefs don't like to add void years to help the cap. Do you know anything about their views on that? I've never asked people in the building about that. It's an interesting question. My thought would be they don't like doing it because they don't do it. They don't do it. So my thought would be that that's not what they want to do. All right, let's see. Do you think Hurts will ever lift a ball after Jones lands on him? I think that Chris Jones and Jalen Hurts will probably meet at some point in 2 weeks. All right, Let's see. Andy Reid passed Tom Landry's second all-time wins for the most playoff wins with 21. Not bad. Hey, Matt, love what you do. The Heaven Bound podcast. At least one of us is going to heaven. Love what you do and just want to ask how you get started on what you do. I am in school for sports broadcasting and media. I also do a podcast for fun. Hey, man, hit me up. Email me. Email me at, I don't know if I should give this out. This could be a nightmare. Not because you find people, but the trolls out there. I know you're out there. Email me. Go on my Twitter account. Look, this is going to sound. My agent's email is on there. Email it, and she'll forward it to me, and then I will get in touch with you, and we can have dialogue back and forth. I know that sounds like the biggest time thing ever. It's not, but that's the best way to go about this. What is your opinion on establishing the lateral? Don't do it. How important was Lamont's cut to get Kemp on the team? I think it was essential. I think that's why he was on the. I think that's why he got elevated. All right. Why is the tackling gotten so much better since early in the year? Look, man, I think it's been a point of emphasis. And what happened to Bell? I don't know. I think they just felt like they had enough tight ends. They were good. They wanted to go another way. All right, everybody. That's it. We're done. I just got in a mobile. I literally have not unpacked my stuff yet. I'm going to unpack. I hope you guys are having a great Monday. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I will be back maybe at some point this week. Thursday I will not be on the show. That'll be Patrick and somebody else. But I will be back for Stacking the Box. We'll figure it out. But in any event, thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody and your time and your questions. You guys are the best. I can't thank you enough. Have a great rest of your Monday. And follow me on Twitter for all the stuff about Senior Bowl. I'll have plenty of updates on it as we go through the week. Take care, everybody.